Tonight on KGW News, 8 states and counting. The Omicron COVID variant continues to spread, but new federal vaccination sites in Washington could help slow it down. And later,
this is like the one basketball decision that everyone agrees upon.
The Blazers fire their general manager amid allegations of bullying. Why the team says it's a step in the right direction. But first, 3 building fires burned across Portland in less than 12 hours. The message firefighters have after one of them turned deadly. Your news starts now. Good evening, I'm Laurel Porter. Tonight, Portland Fire and Rescue continues to investigate the cause of those 3 fires. The first one involved a victim who was transitioning out of homelessness. Here's KGW's Alma McCarty with the latest.
Just before 3 a.m. Friday morning, the first Portland Fire and Rescue engines arrived on scene to Argyle Gardens on Argyle Way. While inside, crews located a woman in critical condition. She was taken to the hospital soon after, but did not survive. Argyle Gardens is operated by Transition Projects, a Portland nonprofit that helps people move from homelessness to housing. In a statement, the co-interim executive director said, "We are devastated to learn that an Argyle Gardens resident lost her life in the fire this morning. Our deepest thoughts and condolences are with her family, friends, and neighbors."
That fire is under investigation.
Lieutenant Laurent Picard said it will likely take them a while to determine a cause. That goes for the 2 other fires, both in southeast Portland, that happened hours later. The second fire of the day happened here on Southeast 87th around 6 a.m.
Reports from the neighbors that there was significant transient activity.
Firefighters arrived to a house boarded up with plywood.
Regardless of the fact the house was boarded up, we always assume on any fire that there are people inside.
Lieutenant Picard says crews faced several challenges here, from hindered access inside to a dangerous partial roof collapse. No injuries were reported.
There was so much fire and the house became fully involved that our efforts were largely to keep the fire from spreading.
Following that fire, a third happened afternoon on Southeast Clinton.
They pulled out and they immediately saw a smoke column.
The fire was coming from a corner unit. Bystanders feared someone was stuck inside, but luckily the fire didn't spread to any other apartment, and no one was harmed.
Our fire investigations unit is always busy, but today is a big day for them.
Lieutenant Picard says today's efforts embodied their saying of always ready, always there.
It was a tough day with the fatality, but it was also a reminder that our firefighters are very good at what they do, and they're ready to go.
Lieutenant Picard tells me probably the most important thing to have at your home, at your apartment, is a working smoke detector. In his more than 25 years of experience, a vast majority of the deadly fire calls he's responded to involve an alarm that isn't working. This time of year, he warns to be careful with space heaters, fireplaces, candles, cigarettes, even Christmas trees, all things that could easily start a fire.
Thank you, Alma. And now to an update on the COVID variant Omicron. There are now 8 U.S. states reporting cases. California identified the very first infection in the U.S. on Wednesday. And since then, Colorado, New York, Minnesota, Hawaii, Maryland, Missouri, and Nebraska have all reported cases. Experts believe the Omicron variant has been circulating in the U.S. longer than previously thought. The variant has also been reported in multiple countries. Washington state will get one of the first new federal vaccination sites, and there are encouraging signs about infections in Oregon. But there's also concerning news out of South Africa about the Omicron variant. KGW's Pat Doris reports.
As part of his winter push to combat COVID, President Biden promises hundreds of federal family clinics will be set up across the country. Washington state will get one of the first at a performing arts center south of Seattle. Governor Jay Inslee is pleased.
So this is continuing to add to our efforts to get vaccine to where people are. And we know there's considerable demand, as I indicated. It's going to increase our equity as well.
Now to the concerning news. The New York Times reports scientists in South Africa believe the Omicron variant spreads twice as fast as the Delta variant, which spread much faster than the original virus. It's important to know that their research has not been peer-reviewed. When it comes to vaccines, a report in the New England Journal of Medicine studied 400,000 veterans who got either the Moderna or Pfizer vaccine. These charts show the results. The lower line on each is a better result, and it shows Moderna as being slightly better, and both being very effective. Now to Oregon. The latest forecast from OHSU researchers hold encouraging predictions. That black line shows the overall number of new hospital cases is predicted to keep falling through December and January and February, although it's unclear if Omicron will upend this. So far, the prediction has been excellent, with actual cases, the red line, and predicted cases, that black line, almost identical. Researchers also believe only about 18% of people in Oregon are still susceptible to the virus. That's the brown portion there on the bottom of this chart. Everyone else is either vaccinated, already infected, or both. The regional forecast shows cases falling in every part of the state. And the ghastly death forecast shows the number of weekly deaths falling, although people still dying from COVID every day. The big unknown is what, if anything, this new variant will do to the pandemic in our state. Fingers crossed. Pat Doris, KGW News.
Authorities are getting a boost against a growing problem in Oregon, illegal pot farms. It's an especially serious issue in the southern part of the state. Now, Josephine County has approved almost $2 million in state funding for its marijuana enforcement team. It's more than the team would typically get. The sheriff's office says it's necessary to address the overwhelming number of illegal grows in the county.
We see massive grows that are hiding in plain sight, and it's at a scale that we don't have enough personnel.
The money will double the number of technicians and other positions on the team. Adding more people will help tackle more illegal grows and make more arrests. A big development surrounding the Portland Trail Blazers. The team has fired longtime GM Neil Olshey. This started with an investigation into Olshey that launched last month. The Blazers said they found he violated the team's code of conduct. Tim Gordon has the details.
Olshey is out. The Blazers general manager was fired Friday, and the team quickly released a statement when the news broke, writing in part, the Portland Trail Blazers organization has decided to terminate general manager and president of basketball operations Neil Olshey, effective immediately due to violations of the Portland Trail Blazers code of conduct.
General managers ordinarily are not the most popular people in any organization.
Longtime Trailblazers insider Dwight Janes says he got along all right with Olshey, but that allegations of bullying and creating a toxic workplace are serious.
And there must have been something concrete there for them to come to that conclusion.
For a decade, Olshey has been in charge of building a professional basketball team in Portland that could truly chase the spirit of '77 and get another NBA title. While some of the pieces may be in place, it hasn't happened. And this year, so far, has been tough.
They haven't played hard. They certainly didn't play hard last night in the game against San Antonio. That's one of the worst efforts I've seen on their home court ever.
And so as a general manager, you look at his job performance, and from a basketball standpoint, you say, hey, this is a franchise that probably needed a breath of fresh air years ago.
Oregonian sports columnist John Canzano has also covered the Blazers for years. In terms of the workplace abuse issues, he is not surprised by the results of the Olshey investigation and the GM's firing. Canzano thinks it gives the Blazers a fresh start on and off the court.
I really wish no personal ill will towards Neil Olshey, but this is a decision that I think the fan base is galvanized on. I think people who have dealt with Neil Olshey are galvanized on. I don't see anybody protesting this right now. And in a weird way, this is like the one basketball decision that everyone agrees upon.
In their statement, the Blazers also wrote, "We are confident that these changes will help build a more positive and respectful working environment." As for the former GM,
it's a difficult resolution for Olshey, who I think will be tainted by this in his search for further jobs.
Tim Gordon, KGW News.